Shamaya, you did it.
STL Music.
Is that good? Welcome back to the show. So listen up, we back in the game. Sweet believe we got a flame. Motivated to the fullest every single day. We wake up, get it in every way. Working in two and global inspiration. Talk this world to top news, no hesitation. Sweet the league is back. We always coming back, that's a fact. Wanna tell them that STL Music, mama, we did it, where we at? Coach Jill in the house with the flow so tight. Every perfect rock stats, we unite. Yeah, the best show, Monday through Friday. If this ain't different, they lying. We got the energy. When I say sweep, you say the league. Sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go.
Hey, it's Rain Fernandez, and you're watching Sweep the League. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and Facebook at Rain Fernandez, RAYNE Fernandez.
Hi, it's Sherilyn, and you're watching Sweep the League TV. Follow me on Instagram at official Sherilyn for more content.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
Sweep the league TV where legends collide. If the Cowboys fall short, we'll still ride the tide. Like Jordan in the clutch or Brady's last play, we bring the fire, keeping fans in the fray. Coach Gio and Rudy calling the shots, with Derek Gervin straight Hall of Fame thoughts. So hit that subscribe, don't sit on the bench. Get in the game, every highlight's intense. The live stream's on till your friends don't delay. Like Kobe in the fourth, we're here to play. Sweep the League TV, where greatness resides. From the blogs, epic drives, to the halls on the rise. We're all in on sports, NBA, CFP, and more for fans. By fans, it's the show you'll adore.
What is up, everybody? It's Sweep the League Thursday night Throwdown edition. We're going to be going into our college football playoffs predictions here. We got a game tomorrow night. We got the other three games on Saturday. We're going to make all of our predictions tonight. That way we can have a fun Friday night tomorrow night with you guys on the air by picking our NFL games. You got an NFL game going on right now. Denver up on the Chargers, 24-13. As I say that, the Chargers score, so it'll be 24, possibly 20 or 21 here in just a little bit. It's going to be myself. It's going to be Hall of Famer Derek Gervin. We're going to get into all the college football playoff talk tonight. And again, we're going to make our predictions for the first round, go over a little bit of NFL things. But first, let's bring on Derek Gervin here because we got to get him in here. It's the Hall of Famer himself. It's Derek Gervin. How you doing tonight, Derek? You able to hear us, Derek? I think he's having a little bit of problems there. 1 second. Let me shoot him a text real quick here. But yeah, we'll get Derek Gervin back on the show here. Let me text him real quick. Your audio isn't working. Let's say we got him now. You there, Derek? Testing 1, 2. Are you there, Derek? All right, we're gonna go on. We're gonna let Derek work on his thing there. He's working on the thing on his phone right now. But yeah, we're gonna get into a lot tonight. College football playoffs start tomorrow. We've got Texas. We got basically what tomorrow is Indiana, Notre Dame. We've got Texas and Clemson. You've got Tennessee, Ohio State. You got SMU and Penn State. Give me 1 second here. All right, so like I said, SMU, Penn State. So tomorrow night's going to be Indiana Notre Dame. Apologize for the delays and stuff here. We've got Derek Gerber trying to get on the show with this right now, having a little bit of issues. So running the show and also trying to do the hosting the show and stuff like that takes a little bit of time. What's good, everyone? Leha's in here. Shout out to MCS General Contracting. You see the hat. We wear the hat. We wear it with pride around here because why? Because MCS General Contracting is the best in the business. Number one in the business, guaranteed by not only them, but by Sweep the League. We back them 100%. We guarantee their work just like they do. Call MCS General Contracting. Lay on the boys. We'll take care of you 100% of the time, every time. So shout out to Chris Leha. Tim's excited for the games. We all excited. Did you do a bracket for college football playoffs? I did not, but I mean, if we can get one going, we'll get one going either later tonight or tomorrow morning, Tim. So if anybody wants to join, he sure as can. And shout out to Gazzato Z. He's our winner from last night. He's going to get a gift card here from Sweep the League. As soon as he contacts us, we'll go ahead and shoot him his gift card for guessing the Pete Maravich jersey last night. So congratulations, Gazzato. Let's try this again one more time. You there, Derek?
Yes.
Okay. Can hear you now.
Can you
hear me now?
You hear me?
Yeah, can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you clearly.
Okay. All right. Your video's a little lag, but we're gonna go on with it. We're gonna work it. We're gonna work through it here, buddy. We're gonna work through it.
Wait, let me get my headphones then. I'll get my headphones.
Good. Okay.
Let me get my earpiece. Maybe that'll work better.
All right, so he's got the Chargers game on one TV, the Spurs on another. Spurs got the volume. All right, so yeah, we're getting Derek back in. It's having a little bit of audio difficulty, but we get the college football playoff bracket. We'll work that in here and see if we can get that going for everybody. But yeah, tomorrow as college football playoff starts, who do you have, Notre Dame or Indiana? What team are you taking? Indiana's the darling of the season. Coach Gio was very high on Indiana before the season. He made believers out of all of us here on Sweep the League. Indiana is by far they are the team. They are the official college football team of Sweep the League, and that is the Indiana Hoosiers. So Kurt Signetti, Curtis Rourke, quarterback. This team's on a mission. They're playing Notre Dame. It's going to be a great first game. Tim says he has the Irish. We're going to see who we have here in just a little bit. Derek, are you there, bud?
Yes.
Okay.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good. We can hear you good, bud.
But can you hear me? Can you hear me clear? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you good, man. We can hear you, bud. Tim has Texas winning it all. So before we get into the college football playoffs, Derek, we kind of do a little thing here. First off, how was your night? You doing okay?
Yeah, it's been a busy night. I went and watched Incarnate Word play Shriner University in basketball, and then I'm coming from a high school game. So, if I'm checking out the young people, all is well.
Yeah, man, the games are always good, and I'm glad. I want to go check out. I think you and I were invited by our good friend Dante Mathis to go check out a San Marcos, a Texas State game. So we'll see if we can get out to Texas State. Shout out to Dante Mathis and all they're doing over there at Texas State Bobcats. They're having a pretty good season, so try to make it out there, win a game. But before we go into college football, Derek, we have a caught off guard moment here. So let me let you check this out here. What do you know, Derek? Michael Penix is named the starter, and then this comes out. The top landing spots for Kirk Cousins if Atlanta cuts him. Can you believe that because they're going to give Michael Penix the start, they're already making destination drops for Kirk Cousins? The New York Giants, the Tennessee Titans, Indianapolis Colts, Cleveland Browns, and the Washington Commanders going back to Washington are the 5 hot spots. That 33rd team is talking about Kirk Cousins going if they cut him. Can you believe we're getting this already? He's guaranteed $90 million, and he's only played 14 games total?
Yeah, but out of those 5, I don't think he wants to go back to Washington because that means he's relegated to the bench.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels was taking over. Out of those 5 teams, let's take away the Commanders. So out of the 4 teams, where does he fit best at?
Wow. Well, I have to eliminate the Giants because we've been hearing Shador talk.
Yeah.
So it's the better out of the three. I would say Cleveland Browns with who they have right now, Jameis Winston. So I would say right now for me it would be the Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland wouldn't be a bad landing spot for Kirk Cousins if he was to get cut, but I would maybe even consider the Colts. I mean, I know Anthony Richardson is there, but he's not the future for the Colts. I didn't like him being drafted that high. So I think if you were to send him to Indianapolis, or he goes to Indianapolis, they've got a pretty good receiving core. They got a great running back in Jonathan Taylor. They got one of the best offensive lines in the game. I think that's kind of appealing. And the good thing is half of your games are in a dome. So, I mean, you saw how he played in the dome when it came to Minnesota. He plays in a dome now in Atlanta. I know he's struggling in Atlanta, but for me, I think the Colts, but I can definitely see the Browns as being a good option.
I would have said the Colts, but I felt that once they inserted Flacco into the lineup, and then they
Yeah.
went back to Anthony Richardson, that told me that they're not ready to cut ties with Anthony Richardson yet. They want to give him one more year to see how things work out, and then if things weren't to work out next year, then we're talking a whole new story, a whole new ball game.
Yeah, I can see that. I can understand that. And that's a good point. It's just, I found it crazy how all of a sudden we get, hey, these are the top spots for Kirk Cousins. If he gets cut by, I mean, who in the hell said he's going to get cut? The guy just got,
Did you see his? Did you see his interview?
I did not. I will admit, I
Kirk,
didn't
he
see.
well, he said all the right things, but you could tell. He said, "Yeah, I guess they doing the right thing," and he had a tough time, but you could tell when the guy's like stuttering and trying to be careful with what he says. He
Yeah.
wasn't happy with it. He says he's going to support Penix. Of course, we've never heard of him being a locker room cancer, but you could tell that he still feels that he should be in that position.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, you're paid that much money. You're a starter for pretty much your entire career. It's going to take a toll on Kirk. It really is. So who's to say Penix gets in there, he struggles, he comes right back in. Kirk Cousins. I mean, like I said, they're in the thick of a playoff spot. They're trying to fight for a playoff spot. Does Michael Penix give you the opportunities to win? We don't know. We've never seen him. We haven't seen him play. So I would say
Rudy,
possibly. I don't know. What's that?
wouldn't you say that it seems like they kind of want to go with Penix now for the duration, not just this season, because when you sit Kirk Cousins down, and their next opponent, if I'm correct, is the New York Giants, right?
It is. It is.
So you sitting him the week of the Giants. That sounds like to me that you want Penix to succeed, and you expect him to succeed. And what better team to put him in there against than the Giants?
I agree, man. It's probably a good thing to get him in there to see how everything's going to work out. Hopefully, Penix good. I mean, as a Falcon fan, I don't want anybody to struggle. I want him to have a great game. I want them to win the game. As a deep, die-hard Falcon fan, again, it's like, man, I know Kirk's struggling. I know you got to make a change, and I think that's what it is. It's like I said last night. It's kind of maybe to light a fire in his butt and maybe get something going, get the juices flowing, get Penix in there. Who knows? We may see Kirk, at in the second half. I don't know. Maybe who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe Penix is going to get in there to start.
How can you go back to him now after this? I mean, 14 games into the season, you're going into week 15 for your team, and you decide you got 3 games left, and you're in the playoff hunt, and then
Yeah.
you decide to bench your quarterback. It sounds like to me like they're giving up on Kirk Cousins, and they're not even thinking about the money. Because if you go to Penix now, when are you going to bench him again? Week 16 for their team, week 17? You can't do that now when you're in the playoff hunt. So if you make the change now, that tells me that that's something that's final for at least for the rest of this season.
They must see something in Penix as far as the practice squads go and as far as practices go. I mean, we haven't seen game situation, so we really can't make that call. So they must be seeing something in the practices that they like. I mean, I'm not gonna argue it with anybody in Atlanta or anything. This was a decision that they made. They feel they had to make. I mean, obviously for a while there, I was tied with Kirk on touchdown passes for the last few weeks up until he threw one this past weekend. So, I mean, I had just as many touchdowns as he had. So, I would say, you know what, it's a change. It's already happened. We'll see what Penix does. I just found it kind of crazy that they're already talking about landing spots for Kirk Cousins. But I want to get your one. You played in the NBA. Obviously, you played in the NBA. You played in the heyday when Gatorade was Gatorade. And I've always wanted to ask you this, and it came up on my timeline because I'm one of the few guys, and I don't know why. I posted this a long time ago, and people gave me a lot of, not disrespect, but gave me a lot of negative feedback because I said, I don't know why, but I always preferred the Gatorade glass bottles compared to the Gatorade plastic bottles. Now, is the taste different? I think so. In the glass bottles, the Gatorade tasted good to me. I liked it. I don't know why, but were you a glass bottle guy or were you a plastic bottle guy?
I was used to the plastic, but I prefer the bottles. But I was more used to the plastic because it's like growing up in Detroit. I wasn't a big Gatorade guy. I was always more of a soda and a water guy. But
Yeah.
I think the bottles are better, even when it comes to drinking soda, or as I call it at home, pop. I rather have the bottles, and I think the same with Gatorade.
Yeah, I don't know. It just it tasted good from the glass. I don't know why when it had the glass bottles. I love
It
them.
doesn't seem like you don't get as much of an aftertaste. You don't get like an aftertaste
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the bottle. Yeah, I would prefer bottle. I had my druthers, as they say, yes, to give me the bottle.
That was a question for any guys out there that we have on the viewing right there. What did you prefer, the glass bottle Gatorade in the old school days, or did you like the plastic bottles that we have now? I mean, hell, Derek, for a while there was Gatorade in a can, if you remember that. I used to remember Gatorade in a can. They probably still do it. I don't know if they still do. They used to have Gatorade in
Well,
a can.
I used to get a fruit punch drink when I back in the day when you could get on base really easy, and I used to play at Fort Sam like every week. It was religiously for me. And so
Yeah.
when I leave there, I would stop at the store on Broadway, and I would get my fruit punch drink, and I always went to the bottle, man. I never went to the plastic. It was the bottle 100% of the time. So I guess I'm a little biased towards the bottle.
You said you mentioned sodas or pop because when we moved to Ohio, I remember the very first time me and my wife went to a restaurant and my wife asked the waitress, "What kind of soda do you have?" And she kind of looked at us like, "Soda?" Um, like my wife says, "Well, Coke. Like, what kind of Coke do you have?" Well, we have Coke and Diet
That's
Coke.
funny.
Yeah, so I mean, then she goes, "Well, just an FYI, y'all are new here." And she's like, "Yeah, we just moved here." Okay, well, we call it pop up here. I was like, "Oh, okay." So she says, "This is what we have." I I never knew it. I never knew that.
Rudy, when I moved here, I asked for pop, and they gave me automatically, when I asked for pop, they gave me a Coca Cola. I swear.
Really?
Yep, that's what they gave
Oh,
me. Just from me asking for pop, they handed me a Coca Cola. Didn't ask any
and,
questions or anything. That's what they
and
handed me. I said, I asked for a pop. I ain't asked for Coke. They said, well, that's pop, and that's what they gave me was a Coca Cola.
was San Antonio the first time you ever tried Big Red?
Yes.
It was.
Yes,
Yeah, I think a lot of
yes, because
people.
in Detroit we drank what they call Faygo, Faygo, and that's
Really?
our pop. So yeah, Faygo, man, they got all. They even have it here now. There's a store, couple stores that sell it, convenience stores that sell it. Faygo. George did a commercial when he was in his heyday when he was getting the scoring titles. They had
Yeah.
him on a big billboard in Detroit, and he was laying on the ground and he's drinking a Faygo. So they came in strawberry, fruit punch, grape, orange. They had all different colors, and that's what I grew up on. Faygo, yes sir.
Wow, man. I'd never even thought about that. And what's crazy was, so we lived in Middletown, Ohio, between Dayton and Cincinnati, home of Butch Beard, for those y'all, and Chris Carter. We had those there, but um the things we never experienced, we experienced it we up there, was the drive through gas station. That was the first time we've ever experienced it, where you drive into like a barn looking thing. Now they're all over beer and all. Basically, it's a beer and all, but we'd never experienced it before. First time we ever had something like that was up north in Ohio. But the other part was Taco Bell was the best Mexican food we could have up there, unless my wife made it home, home fresh. But Taco Bell is the best Mexican food we had up there. I will say that we found a Dairy Queen that was like 30 minutes away or 20 minutes away, and we found a store that sold Big Red. Oh my God, we were in heaven
In
when we found the store
heaven.
that sold Big Red. I mean, it was crazy.
I like Big Red here, Rudy. I had one day before yesterday.
Did you ever drink SEMA Red?
No. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. CIMA. Yes, I did.
Man, SEMA Red was my go-to for the
It's
longest
because it's
time.
kind of you. That means you like strong soda.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
SEMA, man.
So I like them. I like them. I like them strong as well. My mom was big. When my mom drank Faygo, she would only drink strawberry because strawberry was the strongest one that just had the kick to it, and so
Yeah,
that's all she would drink. It had to be strawberry for her because it had kick. And SEMA good.
yeah. SEMA Red was really good. I really liked the. I
Is it
really
better
liked
than?
some.
Do you like it better than you like Big Red?
I will say this, for the longest time, yeah, I would always prefer SEMA Red. My dad, when he would go to the store, he would buy the 3 liter or the 2 liter of SEMA Red rather than Big Red, and that's all we drank was SEMA Red. I don't know why. I mean, I just loved it. I really loved it.
That's what you used to. That's what you used to.
Definitely.
See,
So
you
where
guys. See, real quick, you guys here. So you drink. You like ginger ale, Canada Dry?
no, I've never had it. I've never tried it either.
Never. Okay.
Never. I've never tried a ginger ale. No, I will. I will
Well, on the
automatically.
plane they serve when you fly and traveling they serve Canada Dry ginger ale.
Hmm. I've heard of the Canadian Dry. I've never had one. Is it similar like to
That's what they
Sprite?
offer on the plane. No, it's stronger than it's a little different. No, it's different taste than Sprite. Totally different. I'm gonna have to chew a ginger ale, man. But I know you weren't doing good. You've been on your diet kick and all that. So maybe I just have to get your wife or Joanne, your daughter, one and let them taste it, and then they can tell bad how it tastes.
I'll try it out. I'll be honest. I'll try it out. If I get one, I'll try it. That's no biggie at all, man. So we're talking to Hall of Famer Derek and Rudy Campos Jr. Sweep the League. Go to our YouTube page, search Sweep the League TV, be a subscriber. I started posting for Sweep the League on LinkedIn. So if you want to search LinkedIn, just look me up, Rudy Campos Jr. I'm on LinkedIn. Plus, we're going to be adding more videos to the TikTok. Just search Sweep the League on TikTok. Man, go ahead and hit that follow button on TikTok as well. So got some news coming out. Hopefully this week I've got a meeting this week with some of our producers. Hopefully after this weekend and within a week after Christmas, after the holidays, we'll have an idea of what might be coming for everybody at Sweep the League. So just be sure to tune into YouTube. That way you can hear everything, and go to Twitter or X, be at Sweep the League, be a follower there. We're going to make some big announcements. So hopefully we'll get some questions answered this weekend after our meeting. But the biggest thing happening this weekend, Derek, is college football playoffs. It all starts tomorrow. And It's kicking off. It's kicking off tomorrow with Indiana and Notre Dame. 7 o'clock tomorrow. This is probably, I don't know if I want to call this the best first round game. It's one of them, but this is the one I'm looking forward to, period. I don't know why. I think this is going to be a pretty good high scoring game. You've seen Indiana score they've been scoring left and right. I mean, I think their average wins are like 34, 35 win margin. So they can score. Their only hiccup was Ohio State, which they would have been a lot closer had not Ryan Day, been a dick and went and did what he did at the end of the game. So you know how I feel about Ryan Day. But Indiana Notre Dame. This game right here, I think, sets the bar for the entire weekend. I know Notre Dame's favored. Notre Dame's the higher seed. Notre Dame had the hiccup against Northern Illinois, then they've been on fire. I can't go against Indiana. I think that Ohio State loss woke up a sleeping giant. And I think Indiana goes into South Bend, which ironically is still in Indiana, and get a victory over Notre Dame to head in to that second round matchup at the Sugar Bowl against Georgia. I'm going to take Indiana.
Can you still hear me, Rudy?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Because I don't know what's going on with internet connection tonight, but so while you can hear me, I got to say that I'm going with the Notre Dame. I want Indiana to win, but I just think for some reason, man, they're going to be like a deer in the headlights, I believe. And I'm picking, it's going to be a close game, but I'm going with the Fighting Irish.
Going with the Fighting Irish? No problem. I really think Notre Dame's got a really good opportunity to beat Indiana. I think it's new territory for Indiana. It's been a while since they've had a season like this. So I totally understand the deer in the headlights look that you were talking about right now. Will it happen? I don't know. I just think that Signetti took that video from Ohio State and he just instilled it and burned it into his player's head and said, this is what we have to expect for the rest of the season. Knowing that they got into the college football playoffs, I think he's got them ready. And that's where I'm coming in saying that I'm taking Indiana, but you taking Notre Dame doesn't surprise me. I mean, Notre Dame.
Only because where are they playing?
Playing South Bend.
That's why I'm taking them.
It's Indiana still. Like, I mean.
I know, but they're more familiar with that field. And if they were playing in Indiana's stadium, I would take Indiana. But some of these games, I told you, I just think the home field matters. And this is one of those games. The teams are pretty much even to me. And the only thing that would separate them would be I don't want to use 12th man because I don't want to make A&M or the Seattle Seahawks upset. But I think the field is going to be the difference. I think Notre Dame has a familiarity with being at home, and I think that's going to be the deciding factor.
And that's the reason why we picked him here. Hall of Famer Derek Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr. going over the CFP weekend because it's going to be a big weekend. First time we get a 12-team bracket. Soon to be 16-team bracket, but right now we're dealing with 12. Heading over to Saturday's game. So the early game's going to be SMU and Penn State. Everybody's got Penn State. Nobody gives SMU a fighting chance, but where we've kind of already said Penn State throughout the season, have they been tested? They've been tested a couple of times, but SMU's a quick squad. They can score the ball. What team was able to run and score the ball on Penn State? It's got a big old circle, big old O in there. That was Oregon. So if SMU can take a page out of Oregon's playbook, make it a fast-paced game, the Southern Methodist has a legit shot. Derek, again, I'm going with the underdog here. I'm taking SMU
Man,
over Penn State.
I never feel good picking Penn State and Notre Dame on the same day, but I'm gonna come out of my comfort zone. I'm gonna have to go with Penn State, the Nittany Lions. Oh man, that's a tough one. Yeah, I like SMU too, Rudy. They started off. Who did they lose to? 32-31
Oh, man, I gotta bring
the
that up.
last game because
Uh,
they started. They were down 20-7 early.
it wasn't. It wasn't Arizona State, was it? I mean, no, they're ACC, so it was Clemson. Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson. Okay,
Yeah, it was
and
Clemson.
see, Clemson jumped out on them early, and I'm thinking SMU is going to kind of be more prepared early in the game. But man, that's this is tougher than the first game. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Penn State, man. 35-34. Hell.
Yeah, Tim's right. They got to get off to a very fast start, so SMU, and I think that's what they were. I think that's the idea. That's the plan. Get off to a very fast start. Get the ball rolling. Get the ball moving. Get Penn State just confused every time SMU's on offense. They've got to confuse the hell out of Penn State, and this is one of those things. That, remember, if Penn State loses their head coach, this could be it. This could be it. This could be one of the jobs that we've talked about that becomes vacant if they end up losing to SMU here. But where
I'm laughing. I'm laughing
it's
because
tough.
if they shouldn't base it on that though, because SMU is legit.
They are. They really are.
I'm saying that the SMU is not like the 12th best team in this playoff. And so, I mean, they really good, man. They impressed me against Clemson. But if they were to lose, Penn State was to lose this game, I can hear you clearly as far as Mr. Franklin being on his way out the door.
Yeah.
But man, that SMU is legit, man. But I'm gonna go Penn State by one single point.
Man, it's gonna
A missed extra point or something, Rudy.
it's going to be a fun college football weekend. The first round is going to be fun. We're going to have two great games to start the weekend off. Tomorrow night, Indiana, Notre Dame. First game to kick off on Saturday is SMU, Penn State. Right after that, we go to Austin. We go to, Royal Field there in Austin, Texas. DK Royal. Clemson comes to town. Last time a big team came to town was Georgia. Smacked the Longhorns around in Austin. Texas met Georgia in the SEC championship, and they got closer, but no sir. They didn't get the job done. Clemson's not the same Clemson team that we're used to seeing year in, year out. But it's still Clemson. It's still Dabo Swinney. They've been here. They've been a part of the national talks. They've been a part of national championships. They've gotten it done in winning time. Is it possible that the Clemson Tigers go into Austin and beat the Longhorns? I have Texas as my national title winners. I can't pick against them, but geez, it's not going to be easy. I'm going to take Texas because they are my national championship pick. But I really expect Clemson to come in and just smack them right from
See, that's the problem right there.
They can't
that's
recover.
The problem. That's physicality is the way to beat the Longhorns, man. And you're gonna say it right there now. Now you're gonna really make my pick hard because it's gonna be hard to pick them now because I was looking at Texas, which we know has been a good team, but they've had their ups and downs. The only way you could beat them is to smack them in the mouth. And I know Dabo's gonna have his team playing physical.
Yeah.
I just can't go against the Longhorns to lose this early. I know it's very possible. I told you I'm not a big Sarkisian guy, but I think they're a better team this year than Clemson. And so for that reason alone, I'm gonna stick with the Longhorns.
We finally got a game that we both agree on, the Texas Longhorns beating Clemson. But you're right. I mean, I fully expect Clemson to just come in swinging. And when you stagger the Longhorns, you can kind of tell because Quinn Ewers gets a little bit rattled. They kind of start making these little mistakes. Ewers is making little mistakes. It just seems like the wheels never tend to wobble a lot more. And then once they get the ship steered right, it's almost too late. Kind of what they did like with Georgia, in the last game. And then the first meeting with Georgia, they had a horrific first half. They came back strong in the second half, but it's too late. Now, if Clemson gets off to a fast start, it's pretty much done. It's pretty much done.
I'm nervous, Rudy. Texas this year, Texas and Alabama. I'm gonna mention Texas and Alabama. What are they normally known for? They're usually known for dominating the line of scrimmage. Tell me I'm wrong. Overpowering teams, right?
You're right.
This year, both teams were more finesse, and I'm not used to that. It didn't work for Alabama this year, of course, and Texas. That's what makes me nervous. I'm not used to Texas getting pushed around.
No,
and Georgia kind of dominated them. If you want to get into the physicality, don't you think Georgia dominated them?
Yeah. Oh heck yeah.
I'm not used to that, so that makes me nervous because that's going to be Dabo's game plan is to smack them in the mouth, and that makes me a little nervous. Texas kind of struggled a little bit with the physicality with Texas A&M, but man, I can't go to all season and go with them and then bail out on them now. So I'm gonna take Texas in a head scratcher. It's gonna be a close game, but I'm gonna go with the Longhorns. Reluctantly.
Tim's asking any chance we see Arch in the game. I honestly, this is the CFP, man. If you have to put Arch in, you put Arch in. There's no holding back. There's no, well, maybe there's next week. No. If Quinn is struggling, you can put Arch in. You've got to make the move now. Sark's got to make those types of moves because there really is no tomorrow. This is it. You got to get everything.
What if Clemson's loading up the box defensively? At that point, at some point, you're going to need Arch, and the reason I say that is because Quinn is not like a great runner, and certain games, Arch is very important because he can get outside the pocket and he can run if he has to and go first down. And this might be one of those games where you have to come to put Arch in the game because we've seen Quinn struggle a little bit, especially if it's a physical team. And I expect Clemson to really be physical. So at some point, you might have to go to Arch. And if they do go to Arch, you can't go back to Quinn in the same game. You got to give Arch a chance and let him bail the Longhorns out. And it might come down to that.
It might. It very well might come down to it. And I think we will see Arch. We probably will see Arch a little bit here. But again, if Quinn is struggling, man, you got to make that move ASAP. You can't let him he and haw and get a couple of turnovers or not be able to move the ball because if they're gonna come in and they're gonna get off to a fast start, you can't get down. There's no way you can get down. I think if you're down 10-0, definitely 14-0, you're in big trouble. You're in super big trouble if you get down like that against Clemson. Last game we got on Saturday, Derek, is Tennessee, Ohio State.
Another tough one, man. Are you kidding me?
Ohio State they're legit, but so is Tennessee. Tennessee's very legit. So it's a matter. It's the difference of, is it coaching? Maybe, I don't know. I think out of every single game, which is kind of crazy because Notre Dame, Indiana, this is pretty much like they're pretty much even. I would say all the games are pretty much even if you look at it. But Tennessee, Ohio State, when I say they're even, I mean it's literally, pulling hairs, like tiny molecule, minute hair You're thinning hair basically. They are so close together. James Pence for Tennessee on defense. You got JT and the other guys for Ohio State on defense. I really want Tennessee to win so that way come Monday morning we can hear Ryan Day is fired. I really want that to happen, but I don't know if Tennessee has enough to beat Ohio State. I'm going to hope they do. And with that, I'm taking Tennessee to end the career of Ryan Day at Ohio State.
Oh man, and you know what? And I was gonna say this, that I don't think all the favorites are gonna win. And if I was to pick one team that's favored, that's not gonna win, it would be this game here. I
Yeah.
think Tennessee has been solid all season, and I think they just didn't get the recognition they deserve. If you look at it, at the beginning of the season, they were tough, and they kind of snuck up on people's board on the board, the draft. Well, not the draft, but as they watched them in the rankings, they snuck up on people. And for
Mhm.
some reason, I don't think all the favorites are going to win. So I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say the Tennessee Volunteers. I don't think Ohio State is as good as they played early in the year. I'm going Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't I think this is the one game where I took a lot of the underdogs in Indiana, SMU, and now Tennessee. But out of all of them, Tennessee has the legit shot of beating a favored team. I think they have enough to go into the shoe and get the job done. You're right. I mean, Ohio State, they've looked good, but they haven't looked great. They haven't looked dominant. And again, part of me is like, all right, go Tennessee because I want to know exactly what happens. Obviously, Tim's taking Ohio State for the win, but I don't know, man, because I mean, what do you, if I had to ask you to pick a score, what do you think the score of this game would be? Because honestly, I have it right around like 38-32,
Yeah, I
right
was gonna
around
say
there.
something like 37, 34, or something. But see, to me, Tim, I hope you're listening. I think Tennessee, if you try to go up the middle and play within the hash marks and all that, I think that plays in Ohio State's hands. But I think Tennessee, even like last year when they had what's his name, Herndon Hooker,
Yeah, Hendon Hooker.
Hendon Hooker. I think if
Yeah,
you can get out on the perimeter against Ohio State, that's how you beat them. Michigan didn't really try to just overpower them up the middle, and I think that kind of threw Ohio State off a little bit. I think Tennessee is a much better offensive team than Michigan, and I think they can rattle Ohio State. I think they can go deep on Ohio State, and I also think they can run the ball on Ohio State. So yeah, I'm going with the Vols.
yeah, and actually, I think correction was last year was Joe Milton for Tennessee. I think I'm pretty sure it was Joe
When was
Milton
it
last year.
Hooker? A couple years ago?
Hendon Hooker was a couple of years back. I think he
Couple
was
years
in the
ago. Okay.
not the Caleb. He was in the CJ Stroud draft. So then, yeah, last year was
Okay.
Joe Milton because Milton's with the Patriots, I
Okay.
believe. So yeah, but either way, I
Well,
get what you're saying. I mean, I do get what you're saying on that with Tennessee. To me, Tennessee just has the firepower to give Ohio State fits, and they have the defense to keep Ohio State in check. And I think that's the reason why I think they're the more balanced team. And Tim's even having trouble. Derek, you saying this one has him going back and forth with the pick. I mean, this is literally get a quarter, flip it in the air, call heads and tails, and that's probably the team that's going to win. I mean, the balance of this game right here is just crazy.
after that Michigan game, man, I saw a lot of holes in Ohio State on both sides of the ball,
Yeah,
and they're not what we're accustomed to the last. Well, they lost to Michigan now, what, 4 years in a row? So that's showing signs of weakness there. I
yeah,
just think Tennessee is one of the underrated teams this year, and I picked Miami. I was high on Oregon and Miami. I slept on Tennessee. I'm not sleeping on them anymore, and I expect them to go in and win that game.
man. Can you see if Tennessee wins, they go on to the Rose Bowl, play Oregon. I think that would truly be Oregon's first true test against Tennessee. I really feel that would be a very good game, and that would be their true test right there.
I'm gonna try not to think ahead, man, because you don't do that to me. You know, I want to see the Ducks win. I picked Texas to win it, but I want Oregon to win the national championship. I got to be honest about it, but
Yeah.
Tennessee is no pushover. I'll say that, and I do expect them to knock off Ohio State. So at this time next week, I expect us to be talking about Tennessee and Oregon. That's what I expect us to be talking about next week.
Would it be safe to say if it's Tennessee and Oregon and Texas makes it through Clemson, that the national championship's going to come out of one of those teams right there?
I would agree with that.
Probably safe to say that. I mean, no disrespect to any other team that's in there, but I mean, Oregon and Texas have been looking the best, out of a lot of the teams already. Texas struggled at the end, obviously with Georgia, but Oregon's been looking the best. So I think that the national title winner definitely comes out of that entire top part of the bracket, no matter who it is. Clemson beats Texas, they have a legit shot. Arizona State, don't ever sleep on Arizona State.
See,
I mean, those kids
can't sleep on. I got to go back on. I have to take back my comment, what you said then, because remember I told you I think Arizona State right now might be the second best team in the country.
Yeah, you did say that.
So let's just see if Tennessee can get through Ohio State, and then we're gonna take it 1 week at a time because I like this. I really like the Sun Devils. I really like the Sun Devils.
Yeah, it's the Arizona State. That's a crazy team right there. I love that team. Scatterboo, who's going to be drafted by the Cowboys. I've already called it. Every Cowboy fan wants Ashton Jeanty, and I get it. It's Ashton Jeanty, quick running back, best back in the NFL draft right now. But the kid Scatterboo, man. I mean, you gotta draft him. As Tim is saying, UTSA. They play Monday at 10 a.m. So
let's go.
Do you think they get their first bowl win?
I hope so, but I wish it was against Colorado, man. I'm a little heartbroken that they didn't get to stay here in San Antonio, and that would have generated a lot of money for the university, and I really wanted to see that come to fruition. But yeah, I think we're going to win our bowl game. We struggled, I say, in the middle of the season, up and down this year, but at the right time they played pretty good. I know we lost to Army, but the guys played well, and when they knocked off Memphis, it kind of re-energized me. So yeah, I'm gonna say we win our bowl game.
There we go, man. There we go. So UTSA ends up playing. I think it's the Myrtle Beach Bowl, or it's in Myrtle Beach. I know that. So
South Carolina, here we come.
It's gonna be a fun-filled weekend. We have a lot of bowl games that's already going on. It's gonna be a great CFP as the first round goes. We're giving you our picks here. And Derek, before we end the show, we're doing a quick show tonight. Obviously, we're just making our CFP picks. We're going to be back tomorrow for our Friday edition for NFL picks and talk everything else. A big show last night for you and I. Everybody loved the NBA vault. We're gonna crack open the NBA vault, the history vault, the memory vault on Wednesday night again. But I did want to go back to something that you and I were talking about last night, and it's the ringless guys. The top 5 guys that you feel to never win a ring in the NBA. If I'm going to put you on the spot, who are those 5 guys you feel are the greatest of all time to never win a ring?
Well, I'm starting off with my brother, George Gervin.
Yep.
Karl Malone, Charles Barkley,
all right,
Allen Iverson, and Patrick Ewing.
That's a fair one right there. That's a good list right there. Stockton ranks where? 6, 7, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Well, I had to take. I couldn't take him over AI because AI was leading his team as the superstar. So I hate to omit John Stockton. I definitely do, but it come down to him and Karl Malone, and I got to go with the guy with the 30,000 points and 11, 12,000 rebounds. That's a tough one. Stockton would be my next guy, my sixth
Yeah.
guy for sure.
So this is a guy who came up that I had a conversation with the other day, and it's kind of weird because he's considered one of the greats, in the game, but again, another guy that doesn't get the recognition. Chris Mullin, out of St. John's, Golden State, played for the Indiana Pacers. I mean, where would you put him on that list?
I'll put him top 10 because I'm trying to. I would go Stockton number 6. I would go Dominique Wilkins number 7.
Yeah.
I got to put Reggie. I got Reggie Miller 9 or 10. So I would have Chris Mullin and Reggie Miller probably 9 and 10. And I'm trying to figure out who my number 8 would be because that's a tough one. My number 8 for me would probably be Alex English because I can't leave the guy out who led the decade in scoring.
Yeah.
So I would have Mully, yeah. But I would have Mully in there. I mean, for 10, it'd be hard for me to leave Chris Mullin out of 10 guys that never won a ring. And I know a lot of people are like, who is Chris Mullin? Well, you look it up, do your due diligence. So St. John's legend for one, All-American first team, and one of the Golden State Warriors' first superstars with TMC, Tim Hardaway, Mitch Richmond, and Chris Mullin. And out of that 3, Chris Mullin was probably, I would say, their best player.
Yeah, I would say so too. Chris Mullin, man, that trio of Run TMC, they were dominant so much in the NBA, man. And not only did you have to deal with TMC, you had to worry about guys like Billy Owens. You had to worry about guys like Sarunas Marciulionis coming off the bench. That Warriors team back then was, oh my God, it was must-see TV. Something that we talked about when you were looking at games and you were like, who's playing tonight? Oh, it's Golden State and Sacramento. Well, I'm watching that game because you knew it was going to be a great game with Run TMC. But man, that Warriors team.
Who was the coach?
Rick Adelman.
Nelly.
Rick Adelman. Don Nelson.
I thought it was Nelly. Yeah,
Don Nelson.
Nelly.
Yeah, Don Nelson.
Yeah, you talking? Yeah, a guy that wanted to score, let them play their game. Even back then, I'm trying to think, was Tom Tolbert on the team because Tom Tolbert was pretty athletic. A lot of people don't know who Tom Tolbert is.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had a pretty good squad. But you got Marciulionis, who people never heard of. But yeah, Chris Mullin, man, I did mention Mark Price in my 10 in the last 5, didn't I?
No.
Didn't I mention? I didn't mention Mark Price. I mentioned Stockton, Dominique.
Yeah.
Chris Mullin.
Yeah, Reggie Miller,
and then probably Mark Price would probably be my 10th guy, man. I got to give some love to Mark Price. I have to.
You realize that one show we're gonna have to get all these guys that never won a ring and see how many games they would win in a season if they all play together. Because another guy that I think makes the top 12, if I'm not mistaken, Bernard King never won a ring.
Yeah, he never won a ring either. So you're making it so tough, man. I mean, come on, Elgin Baylor retired the year they won and finally won a ring.
Yeah.
We might have to do this list again, man. I might need a pen and paper to narrow this list down. I'm serious because I think I'm gonna have to redo that list, and I'm gonna hurt somebody's feeling. Like Patrick Ewing might be coming out. So yeah, we might have to we're gonna have to go over this again, I believe.
Yeah, we think we do because I think you had Alex English in your top 10. Now I'm remembering.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. I have to put this on paper. My first 5 was pretty easy for me.
Yeah.
But after that, oh boy, I mean, you got some great ones that didn't win the championship. I ain't even mentioned, did Tim Hardaway get a championship with the Heat, with the Miami Heat?
Oh God, let me look it up right now because that one is kind of tricky. I think he was a part of that Heat team that won the title. Let's look it up right
We know
here.
Gary Payton got a. We know Gary Payton got a ring with them.
Yeah, no, he did not. Tim Hardaway did not win a ring.
So yeah, we're gonna have to redo this, Rudy, because if you know, then Jason Kidd got one with the Mavericks, so we can cross him out.
Yeah,
That's it's tough. You got Bernard King out there. You got Alex English and Ewing and Mark Price and Reggie Miller. I mean, that's tough. That's a tough group there to pick from.
that's very. Could we see our first 82-0 team if we put a team together with all these guys on the prime?
Well, we have to find one more big man to go with Patrick Ewing.
Oh God, who would be a big man that never won a ring? So Patrick Ewing is obviously there. I mean, could we include Sabonis on that team?
Healthy Sabonis. I was just going to say the same thing. I'll take an 80% Arvydas Sabonis at 280 pounds when he was playing with Portland. I even take him then.
Okay, we'll take a healthy an 80% Sabonis on that team. I mean, God, you're talking Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone, AI. I mean, Stockton,
Dominique.
God, Dominique, Alex English, Prime Bernard King. I would think 82-0 is probably in the picture for a team like that. There's no
I got to
reason.
put my brother in the. I got to put George in the back court because I mean I got to mention again those 5 first-team All NBAs.
Yeah, I mean the starting 5 is legitimately Patrick, Carl, Dominique, George, and then who would your point be? Would you go with Stockton or Mark Price?
Oh man,
I mean Stockton
Mark,
makes the most sense, but
Mark, can you come off the bench? I have to have that conversation. I think Mark wouldn't have a problem with coming off the bench behind John Stockton. I think that would be a no-brainer. I love Mark Price, but I mean, when you look at the assists and the steals and all that, and playing 82 games a year, the Iron Man, yeah, I ought to have to go with John Stockton over Mark Price as a starter. But Mark's going to play a lot of minutes.
you know, I'm trying to write Mark Price to see if he can come on the show, but I can't get. He doesn't have his DMs open on X, so I can't. But if we're lucky enough to get Mark Price on the show, we got to ask him if he's okay coming off that bench right there. If he's okay with it, I'm pretty sure he would be.
How can I get to Mark Price? Well, now you got me working on somebody else, so I'm gonna figure it out.
We'll see if we can figure it out, man. But nonetheless, dude, we went over our CFP picks. We went over a little bit more down memory lane. Next Wednesday, we're going to devote an entire show back on memory lane. We'll see if we can narrow down the list of the top 12. We're going to build a team, top 12 players on our list to never win a championship because there's a whole bunch of guys out there. So we're going to see if we can narrow that list by next Wednesday for you guys. But tomorrow we'll be back making our NFL picks. And
before we go, man.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. You go ahead.
Before we go, I want to give you another subject to talk about very soon. Maybe not tomorrow because we're going to be covering football, but Rick Pitino put it out there today that he's at St. John's. So his team will not be participating. They'll not be participating in the handshakes anymore after the games.
Okay, and the handshake game, you're not going to be participating.
Yeah, because I want to see if that's where we're headed, man. It's kind of sad to me because I kind of saw this coming. Because a lot goes on now during the game, and a lot of these guys are heated, and then some of them don't want to shake hands. So I want to at some point cover that and see what the people on the show, the fans, think about where we headed as far as the sportsmanship and not shaking hands, man. That's not something we're used to. Definitely not something I'm used to in all my years of covering and being around basketball.
Yeah, we can. You know what? We'll lead off the show tomorrow with that because our NFL picks are at the end of the show anyway. So tomorrow we'll lead off the show with the Rick Pitino and telling his team, saying his players are not going to participate in the handshake line. So I definitely want to get your feedback on that. So we'll lead that show off tomorrow. Plus, we'll go ahead and do our NFL picks as well. And we'll get some other stuff in here as well. Hopefully, Coach Gio will be on, like I said, very soon, probably after the holidays. For those of y'all that are wondering when Coach Gio will be back, it's more likely going to be after the holidays. So for Hall of Famer Derek Gervin, for Coach Gio, for everybody at Sweep the League, this is Rudy Campos Jr. Until we sweep the league again tomorrow, we'll see you later, knuckleheads.
Everybody have a great night. Stay safe.
Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting. Building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
Are you a hockey fan looking for the latest on the Edmonton Oilers, Pittsburgh Penguins, and NHL news of the week? Barry and Carson Best bring it all to you on the Best Boys Center Ice podcast. They break down games, provide insider updates, and keep you up to speed every week. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and join their hockey family.
Exclusive interviews with Rudy and the crew. Let's go. We build a legacy, yeah, they know the name. STL music, it's a movement, not just a claim. Loyalty, respect, that's the code we honor. In the face of adversity, we stand.